Welcome back to the channel. My name is June. Today I want to continue my talk on the matter of the case in court involving Vybz Kartel, Adidja Palmer, and his co-accused. The case was tried in Jamaica many years ago. He was convicted on the charge of murder. He appealed the conviction and sentencing. His case was heard in the Court of Appeal here in Jamaica, and the conviction and sentences were upheld. They further took the case to the Privy Council, that's our highest appellant court, and the verdict from the appellant court was that, hey, we had a tainted juror, and so we consider that the whole jury panel was compromised. On that basis, the Privy Council said, we will overturn the conviction and we are going to return this case to the appellant court in Jamaica to decide whether there should be a retrial in the matter or whether accused persons should be released. At this time, many vloggers, many media platforms, both electronic and otherwise, have been carrying stories on the matter. Many of us, our own opinion on the case, how it will go, how it should go, and what might be the right thing to do. I am not legally minded, and so I should not be taken as any authority on the matter. In my own summation of what is and what should be, I am siding with the arguments of precedence setting. What precedence will be set at the end of this trial? If he is released, what does that mean going forward? If he is to remain in prison, convicted again at a retrial, what would that mean? Many arguments are out there that a retrial would be against the Constitution, in that he will be held incarcerated beyond a certain period, which the Constitution would consider to be within itself. Now, between the time he was sentenced and for the first appeal and then to go to the Privy Council and now to be waiting, to decide where will this saga end, the Constitution will be in its favor or in their favor. The argument whether the country can afford a retrial that has been put forward, and the learned DPP has said that, listen, money or funding should not be a factor in determining whether a person is guilty or not guilty and whether a fair trial is being carried out. Now, I am asking the question as it pertains to a tainted juror. In this case, it is alleged that it is from the defendant's corner that the tainting took place. The defendants were the ones who were guilty of tainting a juror. Now, my question is, if it was the other way around, where it was the Crown's house that this tainting was coming from, how different would it have been? Would it be a straight out release of this person, or would it be going down the same path as it is heading right now? Can we have a tainted juror from the prosecution side? And how would the saga be played out? Would it be similar to what is happening now, that the conviction was not fair? It was biased based on a tainted juror. Should I assume that from either side of the room, any attempt to bribe any juror, whether for or against, would a retrial, would it be warranted? Can the prosecution side be held responsible for tainting of a juror? Let me divide us into three groups. One group is saying, free these persons right off the bat. A second group is saying, yes, a retrial must be done, and this time it must be done fairly. And the third group, well, really don't have an opinion, whether for or against. Which group of persons do you think would have the highest figure coming out? Based on a lot of persons, talking in the streets and vlogging and blah, 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 many persons are saying, oh, the Privy Council free the man, so release him, or release these persons, blah, blah, blah. But what we keep forgetting is that the Privy Council says that, listen now, a tainted juror can taint the whole jury panel. So on that basis, we have to reverse the conviction. Right? Let us decide whether we're going to have a retrial. If the resources are available to do the retrial, then that's the way I think they're going to go. Because a precedent will be set in this matter. Whatever comes out of this, whether to my liking or to the other person's liking, whatever comes out of this matter, it's going to be a precedent that is set. And reference will be made to whatever judgment in this case in future. The Crown versus Vybz Kartel and co-accused, blah, 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 in the year 2024, blah, blah, blah. All of that, has to be taken into consideration. If the Privy Council had outrightly said, okay, we are reversing the conviction and these persons are free as far as law is concerned, then it's another matter. The case has been referred for a retrial or for the appellant court to decide whether to free the person. So freeing these persons would be based on what? Or keeping these persons locked up is based on what? Or having a retrial of these persons based on what? It's a whole situation that has to be viewed. And granted, yes, emotionally, I might be saying, okay, I am for this person. You might be saying, no, I am against these persons. But then again, what is law? And what precedents must be set? If we decide to, okay, we are going to free these persons because the country does not have the resources to carry through another trial, we have to understand that this will be a precedent that is set. And it can't be in future we say, oh, this decision was taken because the country was not able to fund a retrial. So, what will it be? If this person decide at this point in time that, hey, look, we have done 13, 14 years already, so we are going to say, all right, then commute the sentencing to that. Commute our sentencing to time spent. It will be admission of guilt. So we are saying, yes, we are guilty. Yes, we have done 14 years. We have come under emotional, psychological, and all of the kind of alleys. All this time of retribution and non-pristine conditions that we have survived. Commute our sentences to that. No one at this point wants to admit guilt, so it will not be in their best interest to, if they want not to have this record of murder on their files, they would not be accepting that. Yes, we have spent this time. Yes, we would have wanted to come out, according to one of the accused. He's saying, well, okay, he would really like to have some me time with his woman or his wife. He needs some cuddling. He needs some love making. He needs. Yeah. So, having spent that long, having spent so much money, would it be just a decision on their part to say, okay then, I am saying, do not bother with a retrial. We are guilty. We are accepting guilt for whatever you say we do and whatever might come up in future. We are accepting guilt. or the conviction of for all of that. We have spent so much time already, let us go. How will the records play out? That is another matter. I don't know anything about legal affairs and how these laws are set. But what I do know is that whatever comes out of this matter, it's going to be landmark. It's going to be used for further referencing. So what do we do at this point? How do we want to be referenced in future? This is a big case, and it's much bigger than our emotions. We wanting to see this particular person free. There are many persons, locked up for longer periods and than what these persons have been there. What are these persons saying, and how will their situation benefit from whatever goes on in this matter? These persons will want to get out also, but then it's going to be a matter now of who has money to obtain the services of a lawyer or a group of lawyers to lobby on their behalf. There are many other cases before the court, similar in nature, and these lawyers representing these persons are watching and waiting with bated breath on the outcome of this matter. They are watching, because whatever happens in this case is going to influence whatever arguments that they are going to put for their clients in subsequent cases. And it's going to be significant. I am following this one closely. I am not for the hype and emotions. I am for what is logical, what the law says, and how the law will be carried. Of course, everybody wants their favorite persons not to be locked up. Family, friends, well-wishers. But persons also want to know that these persons will have a fair trial. Since because of the tainted jury, whatever the outcome of the case was not a fair outcome. So now, what the Crown is saying, we have a chance to make it right. So we will have, or we would like to have, a retrial. And that the outcome of this retrial will be a fair one. Whether or not this can happen, your guess is as good as mine. But we will wait and see. Anyways, my name is June. I am in Jamaica. Let us see how this one plays out.